Good day everyone, my name is Andrea Nano from BF2. Today I will show you how to make a cardboard loom. How to weave on cardboard loom. So, weaving on a cardboard loom is really fun and super easy to do. In this instructable, I'll teach how to make a cardboard loom and weave on it. So come on, let's learn how to weave on a cardboard loom. So this is the materials we need to use for step 1. So we have yarn, scissor, cardboard, pencil, metallic needles, ruler, also tape. Step 2. Make your loom. So you can really make this any size you want. Now, I'll draw the line for the notches. In most cases, you want this to be 1/4 each apart. However, you can make them as big as you want. The wider they are, easier the weaving will be. Step 3. Stringing the loom. So, choose a thinner, smooth yarn for this part. With the marked side of the loom facing up, thread a bit of yarn into the first notch on the upper left side. There should be a tail of few inches on the back side of the loom. Tape this to the back of the loom. So, carry the thread down to the bottom left notch on the loom and pull it into the notch. Bring the thread back over the front by bringing it up through the notch directly to the right of the leftmost bottom notch. So, continue doing this all the way across the loom. The picture will explain this better. The front side of the loom will have your going from notch to notch. The back side of the loom will be just small segment of yarn loop around the notches. Leave a tail of the end of the yarn and also tape that to back of the loom. Step 4. Weaving. So now for the fun part. So cut a length of yarn. Shorter is easier to work with at first. No more than 2 feet and thread the yarn through the needle. I like to make a knot so that it stays in the needle. It has tendency to fall off if you don't. You will be using the needle to guide the yarn through the loom in under-over pattern. Under the first string, over the second, under the next. Once the needle has passed through all of the string, pull the yarn through and leave a tail of few inches that end. Push the yarn on the loom so that it about 1/4 inch away from the notches. So bring the needle and yarn bar through the loom from the side. You just excite using an over-under pattern that the opposite of your first line and pull the yarn through. So if your first line yarn goes under the last string to the right, it needs to go over that last string to begin the second row. Just don't pull too hard on the yarn. You don't want to warp the string on the loom. So push the second line of yarn to meet the first. Step 5. Continue and introducing new yarn once you run out. So, continue each row alternating the over-under pattern, making sure not to pull the yarn too tight. Every few rows is a good idea to use your thumb to push the yarn up to string so that it looks nice and uniform. When you get the end of color, take it to one edge of the loom and leave a tail of a few inches hanging off to the side. You can either cut off the length of yarn that is the same color or introduce a new color. Take your new length of yarn and insert it into the same side where your ending tail is. You'll be following the same over-under rules as before. So if the tail of the yarn ended going under the last string, you'll start your new yarn going over it. Pull your yarn through and make sure to leave a tail at the end. So continue weaving as usual. This video is proof that I myself made and how I made and finished it. This is my finished work on weaving cardboard loom. So this picture represents weaving in communities of Panay Island in Visayas, which we call patadyong. The patadyong is a textile woven most prominently in province of Antique and Iloilo, both in the island of Panay. Its name is derived from the Visayan word of pa and tadyong, literally meaning to be left straight, allowing perhaps to each silhouette as a skirt that is narrow and straight with no pleats.